All right, we're in the garage. I've got to operate the camera here today, so we're gonna get some crappy angles, but I can't let this go. I was just gonna enjoy the day in the garage without the camera. I'm freaking sweating. It's a billion degrees outside. But we're gonna do the intercooler piping, the short route intercooler piping. So we're gonna do the bottom, we're doing the bottom intercooler piping now. We'll do the short route version with the tile blow-off valve. We're gonna do STM intake, and I'm gonna stay mass airflow sensor, right? MAF. Yeah, I'm always thinking map sensor, but we're gonna stay MAF instead of going speed density. And all you Evo nerds your heads are gonna explode. But I don't want to frickin' deal with the problems. And so I was talking to my tuner, Chris Carby. He said, look, for what you're looking to accomplish here, I've tuned cars 600-700 horsepower on MAF. If you want to keep it simple, streetable, you don't want to be driving around with a laptop on the front seat. Not that you can't do that with speed density or the swap over. And for those of you who are not Evo people, basically we have two choices on how we're going to do the math on how the air is whatever measured in the car, or metered in the car. And so I'm not doing standalone ECU, I'm not doing speed density sensors and all that stuff, so I don't want to do the conversion. So we're going to keep this really simple. And so I've had such a struggle to try to find some of the information. Seems like every Evo video, like I need to like put fingerprints all over the lens and get it real dark. It's like an old GoPro with it. They wipe the lens off.
Sweaty.
It's all gross, and it's like a GoPro Hero 2 or something that they're using. And there's just not a lot of videos on this stuff other than my friend Chris Corberry. And so the forums were the place for these cars, but the forums have kind of, the Evo, whatever, Evolution M or whatever it's called, I'm on, but a lot of that stuff has died. A lot of the old, old photos aren't there anymore, and so I figured I'd get the camera out and we'd start videoing this stuff. So anyway, let me show you what I got. So we got a whole stack of parts here. So what I'm hoping to accomplish today is we're gonna swap the intake, the blow off, all the intercooler piping, the battery, so I'm hoping to get that all done, and then route all the AN fittings and AN lines for our catch can. So our oil catch can is right here, so I'm hoping to be able to finish that up. But you see the original intercooler piping here, so we're taking all that off, and we're gonna get rid of all the factory bends and stuff. And one of them here is the first pipe here is to swap the lower section. I did all crinkle coated or wrinkle coat or whatever you call it, the textured black powder coating. I like this better.
Matches your brace.
Yeah, that's why I decided to keep it all that kind of finish. The shiny black stuff is great, but shiny black.
Yep.
You know what happens with shiny black? It gets scratchy black, all ruined. So this is looking pretty good. I mean, even with our racing shims here, I really don't want to deal with trying to get the right one. So it's fine. It's not going anywhere.
No, it's fine. It's not touching.
If I was going to be hardcore racing this sucker, I'd probably call ETS and say, hey, I think you gave me the wrong intercooler.
Yeah, I guess from what I understand, there would normally be a notch here where the...
I guess, yeah.
Goes. Yeah. So, oh well, it works.
So when we bring the car down, we'll show you this, but all this piping's coming out. We also have this Evolution hydraulics system. Mike's waiting to hear back from them on a diagram so we can do some what is this, power bleeding, I guess?
Yeah, it does. It uses a pump and then it operates the solenoid, right-left solenoid because I guess it can get an air pocket in there that you can't get out unless you somehow operate the solenoid while the pump's under pressure. So the procedure it tells you how to use the pump or the blade box, but it doesn't give us which wire goes to which plug. Ours looks a little different. So.
And then you can see Scott painted our fender wells. Looks freaking sweet, people. So this car now looks brand spanking new. We got all the all these guys restored, all the fender wells restored and all of that. And then I got my JDM rear bumper. Jose brought this back for me. So we're gonna put this on. I'll make a separate video on this. But I decided to do, the factory finish here is a little different. It's like a, I guess a darker gray type finish. I decided to do a gloss black. So we'll have to do some, I have to do some sanding on it as well. So we'll do a little bit of wet sanding demo. And then I got all the parts that Chris Corberry recommends from the Japanese site that I bought from. And the E92 is looking great sitting there. But yeah, still, every time I say, all right, I'm done, let's get this thing on the road, then I say, let's just do this, let's do that. I'm not gonna do the turbo, I'm promising you that. I'm not doing that now. And I'm not gonna do the suspension yet. So I'm gonna go drive the thing, I need to bed the brakes, drive the darn thing around, put some miles on it, get it on the road, and then we'll do the suspension, probably in 2 weeks. We'll see, it probably won't be very long. I'm gonna be riding on stilts. So the timing belt's done. We didn't video that. We didn't have time to do that. We're doing some other stuff. And you can see I did the APR little carbon fiber cam gear cover. And so this intake is gonna come out, and then you see this kind of weird, funky piping here. It's gonna be a much straighter route because the battery is gonna turn, and actually the battery just arrived 2 seconds ago, so we got that ready to go. This is what you deal with when you're in the Evo world. You have to deal with jank. So this is brand new. Battery's all frickin' scratched up. It's got all kinds of dirt in it. Looks like it's been used. I don't think it probably hasn't been used, but I bought this right from ETS. But this is what I've experienced in general, except for STM. STM's been pretty good about, you know, like all the parts. Like you look at the fresh powder coating. Like the nice thing about like all of this, you can tell I order it and they're like having it sent to powder coat. They're making it. You know, so that's a really nice thing about it. But some of this stuff comes pretty well, and a lot of it's old, so it's been sitting on a shelf for a while, I'm sure. So that's probably it. I mean, I don't think this battery is very good, this CS3 battery, so they probably don't sell a lot of them, so it's probably just sitting on the shelf. This is going to be in the car temporarily until I ordered an anti-gravity, so the anti-gravity will go in place. So you can see the airbox is coming out, all the intake piping, the blow-off, and because we're going to stay mass airflow or MAF sensor, we're going to take the MAF out of the box here and transplant it somehow into the car. And so my little Value Craft battery, which was terrible. I mean, it went dead like in a week.
Doesn't even hold a
brand new battery. That's what you get. I said, what's the cheapest battery you got? They've never heard that come out of my mouth, ever. So I went to the place. I just needed something because the battery that was in the car was original. But you can see how much all this stuff is going to come out. And then, shoot, we're going to drop 30 pounds or so when I do the fancy battery setup. But we're going to kind of clean all this up here. I already put a new ground, Mike already built a new ground cable, so we'll be able to cut that to length. But we'll have to kind of loosen up some of this, some of the positive side of things, because all the videos, all the fuzzy videos I was watching had
this is
a tough time getting that. Yeah, so we have to kind of cut some of the ties and clips and stuff. Have to kind of do a little bit of rerouting there to get that to work. So this is going to clean up the whole engine bay, drop some pounds.
Yep.
Make it look pretty. Yeah, so that part has to come out, and then there's a vibrant bracket that comes with the STM kit, or it just kind of stays in line, I guess. And what I'm pretty sure is that when we do this transplant, then it just operates like stock. You just get maybe a little bit more flow. So I'm so glad. I was saying this to Jose last night, our painter who brought the bumper up yesterday. I said, I almost bought one of these cars when I was 23, when I bought my S2000, 22.
Yeah.
And it would have changed the trajectory of my life. Like, because of the amount of debt I would have been, this is so much different than an S2000. You can buy wheels and suspension, and I did all that, but like...
Oh, you can sink a lot more money in one of these.
Yeah, it's insane how much, this or an STI, like all the young guys that, you buy these things, I wouldn't recommend it, man. That's going to be something I'm going to talk about quite a bit with this car is, unless you're You know, unless you have a really good upside. If you're a single guy, you're making 150 grand, 125 grand, or something like that. I'd say maybe go for it.
Yeah.
But you're going to want to do all this stuff. I mean, I'm just writing checks on this darn thing.
Yeah, and you found out none of it's cheap, and a lot of the stuff may not work together. So you find out you buy something and they go, oh man, I gotta get something different.
And I'm not even going that far.
Yeah.
Like, guys who start doing all this crazy stuff to these things, it could really mess you up. As a car guy, it's hard to draw the line.
Yeah.
And I haven't even bought like some of the things I plan. Like I haven't bought the headlights, the tail lights, stuff like that yet. I've kind of reached my limit here.
Especially if you're buying one of these now, you could easily spend as much as the car cost you in modification.
Oh, easily, yeah.
If you buy one of these for 20 grand used, you could easily.
Right, if you start doing cams and big turbo and big intercooler, and then you start, dealing with looking for expensive wheels and tires, and then you start changing bushings, and and then you have to worry about rebuilding diffs and all that stuff. Man, it could be. You send yourself into bankruptcy. Yeah, so the ETS, the Extreme Turbo Systems battery tray, I think looks better than like the STM and the JD Customs and all these others. I think it looks a lot better. Yeah, so this big spaghetti thing here will then go straight through, and then our blow-off will sit right on top of that. And I forget, I gotta look up the blow-off that I chose. Well, I just figured out, I'll show you guys in a minute what I ordered wrong, so I just paid 60 bucks. That's not too bad, 60 bucks to overnight the proper flange.
Not too bad.
I ordered the wrong flange. It all makes perfect sense now, but like when you don't understand how this whole thing works.
Yeah, you almost have to see it.
Yeah, exactly. And even seeing it sometimes doesn't make sense until you start taking it apart.
Yeah.
Now it makes perfect sense. Like even like this tube here. I'm like, I never thought to think, well, they change where the offset is. They change where the piping goes for the radiator. Or as in Pittsburgh, we'd say radiator. I've only ever had a cool blow off one time. That was on the 1M. I'm excited to make some
whooshy noises.
Yeah. Make some swooshy doos. You'll be just driving around, just feathering the throttle, on and off.
Second gear, just
Yeah. That's not cool anymore. Now you gotta have fart dumps, and you gotta have burble dumps.
Burbles.
Yeah, you like the farting, backfire farting is like cool to do.
Yeah.
I'm not cool anymore.
No, I uncooled my car. I got rid of the burbles.
And you gotta wear shorts that are like 2-inch inseam, so your nuts hang out.
Yeah.
Freaking dorks.
That's in now, though, Matt.
I don't care. I understand if you got like jacked quads.
Quads, yeah, you want to show your
these
quads
freaking
and
dorks.
yeah.
These little nerds, little young nerds, I could break their legs in half. Yeah, that comes off. This comes off.
Yeah.
Just dropping the weight, man.
Just gutting everything. Be like, where did this go?
All right, so here's where I screwed up. So this is the aftermarket. This is the STM short route intercooler piping with a tile V-band QR type inlet. And then I ordered, when you order the tile, so this is the QRJ version. That's what my tuner suggested I get. So I got the QRJ blow off from tile. And then I ordered it with a Evo flange, thinking I would need Evo in, Evo out for the Evo. But the problem is that I'm going aftermarket. So if I was going to stay stock, then these are the correct flanges. So I guess the recirc flange is good. So this is the 34 millimeter flange, and I've got my recirc tube. I was trying to figure out how all this crap works. Now it makes perfect sense. It didn't make any sense to me when I'm trying to figure this out. So this is the STM intake. This is the STM recirc tube, and the recirc tube will connect to the discharge, I guess, outlet. I got to get all my terminology correct, but this has to fit on there. And so I just overnighted a QR V-band style flange that will screw into this, and then connect to that. So hopefully I'll have that tomorrow. So got rid of all this spaghetti, and then we'll gain all kinds of HPs by having some straight piping, you know, fatter, straighter.
Yeah.
HP makers, and our nice crinkled powder coated black, and so that'll run up through here, and you can see all our catch can inlets to I want to make sure I got all good oil flow, you know, no extra pressure. Lots of performance for going to Publix, for driving the 1.4 miles from my house to here. I'm hoping to add some drive, you know, add some distance in this thing. That's the whole point of this. The only problem is we're at like $175,000 now, and
Yeah, so much for the anxiety reducing low cost budget car.
yeah. Nah, it's still good.
I think we need to get you a. What can we get? We get you a nice
Camry,
comfy Lexus like Chris has.
Yeah.
He found one today. What did he call it? Was the Comfort Extreme model, 4,600 original miles on it. Get you one of those. 35 grand on the bring a trailer right now.
Yeah, I don't care.
Huh? Not your cup, huh?
Yeah. Somebody's paying 35 grand for that? I guess it was probably 90
that's
back
day
in the day.
one. Day one, 30 grand.
Yeah.
35. It's going to be more than that by the time
Somebody's
you're
really
done.
excited about it. So you can see battery trays out, intakes out. I'll take the intake tube and blow off. The amount of parts left on this car, like their stock.
Yeah, got rid of a lot of stuff.
Yeah. I filled the whole storage unit with Mitsubishi parts.
Here's the current. So this is the catch can's definitely coming out of here. You see, normally it goes right into the intake tract. So we're going to intercept that, go to the catch can, back out of the catch can into the intake tract.
Yeah, I think there's a diagram on the STM side I got to pull up just to be sure.
Well, we know this is going away.
There's a breather that goes somewhere that came with the intake.
Yes, this one here. Where'd it go? I saw it up here.
It's right here.
Oh yeah. Oh, K&N. Big horsepowers. That's like Corvette guy.
All that boosting pressure. And then when I get the turbo, we'll take it all back apart.
That's what I'm thinking, exactly what I'm doing, because I already had this off when I took turbo out the first time.
I sure hope we don't have to put this thing back together or something.
You're videoing everything. Better go back and look at the footage.
Yeah. But that just cleaned up a whole lot of space. And there's our intercooler piping, and as you can see our catch can. See our catch can down there. But see, like even missing like that flange, it cost me 125 bucks. If you're like, you know, just like a 23-year-old regular dude making, you know, 40 G's, and you have one of these, you can't do that. No. You're freaking screwed. And it's your only car, right?
Yeah.
So your car's torn apart.
Yeah.
And then it's not going to work. You know, guaranteed as soon as we do this, we're going to have some problems.
Well, that's the thing when you compound modification on a modification. Like the intercooler pipe is made by a different company than the
blow off or the catch can,
and which is different than the catch can. So you're compounding, adding modifications on top of modifications, and they weren't really designed necessarily to work with each other. So you got to kind of figure it out.
Now, the only thing that I guess you could say is that when you are balling on a budget, you do one thing at a time.
Yeah, that's.
I'm doing 45 things at a time.
Yeah.
I still think, you know, unless you're rolling,
it's like
find a different car.
2 extra ounces you're saving.
Oh, nice. Oh, there's 2 studs right there. Look. What was? Oh, that was on the factory box.
Yeah, the bracket was. There was a couple of bolts that went back there.
Yeah.
Forgot about it. So it's like that.
This is Sears turbo hot boy part here is when you take your nice practical battery and turn it to completely impractical. Make sure you can't start your car. That's what I'm heading for.
You need to have a jump box in the trunk at all times here.
So much for my stereo dreams. If I get a stereo, I'm gonna have to do a battery in the trunk.
Yeah, for sure.
Gosh, that's such a terrible, like this should be so easy to make.
Yep.
Yeah. See, the battery's leaning at like a little droopster,
Yeah.
little droopykins.
And it's not, and that's the weight off of it. It's not really the weight doing it.
No, yeah. It's such junk. I could put a little shim in the back corner of the battery.
Just lean it like this. There you go. Put some shims under there so the battery's flat, level. Huh?
I think so. Freaking janky.
That's, I mean, that's about level, right? Right about there. Mm-hmm. It's awful.
Freaking so stupid. I don't think any probably nobody the Evo people don't care. Like, yeah, you know, whatever. It's just a little crooked.
It's for hood clearance.
Yeah, it's crooked. It also should be like the whole bracket needs to be redesigned. So the whole thing, like, because the body's turned a little, right?
Yeah.
So the whole bracket turns out.
And yeah.
Right.
But you can kind of cheat a little bit with. There's a little slopperoo in there. You can do that a little bit.
So freaking stupid.
So we're neutral.
Well, whatever. It's certainly going to function.
Yeah.
But the form part of it is a little lackluster here. Yeah, so a little bit of jank never hurt anyone, Mike. Mm-hmm. It just hurts my sensibility.
That's a 10, that's why.
I like that, though. That's pretty clean, though. I thought the battery...
The cables you thought were going to look worse?
Yeah. I'm telling you, I watched like 5 different videos on it, and I just think they all put the batteries in backwards. I bet you it's because the ground, you know, the ground wire...
It's short.
Right.
I lengthened it.
Right, exactly.
So that's what I would have done anyway. If it wasn't going to work, I would have just...
Go lengthen the ground.
Yeah.
Because the ground's simple.
Yep.
The power, not so much. There's a lot going on there. You have to cut a lot of harnesses to lengthen the power side of things. Yeah, that's pretty cleanish. Just a little, we'll call it cockeyed clean, CC. A little cockeyed clean.
Tight. I can't tell. It's tight. Oh, the whole terminal's tight. Turning. Okay. That.
Yeah, it's not bad. I don't know if I can take this yellow sticker off of here. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Oh no. You suck. Put a little shim in there, Mike. Another racing shim. Take a little piece of copper wire and
Yep.
circle it up.
What was there some? Were there some? I guess I know these are what these are for, but did they give you plugs or something to put in there?
Of course not. Oh. you talking about fit and finish here? What are you, nuts? It's a microcosm of the Evo life. You gotta suck at everything.
Does free up a lot of space, though. I will say that.
Mm-hmm. Frees up a lot of potential voltage as well. Frees you up from starting the car. Keeps the miles off, you know.
Yeah.
Gosh, it's freaking crooked. God dang it.
Well, we could shim the battery if we wanted to.
No. Excellent. Being excellent's overrated. I like being mediocre. It makes me feel good. I think Evo Bros are taking their stickers off and wiping it.
Yeah.
That's a negative.
Negative. All stickers are left in play. Certainly all adhesives.
Right, so that connects to the blow off.
Yep. So it must go this way, like this.
So we're gonna take that air box. I think that bracket, get rid of that thing.
You think so?
Yeah, I mean, there's only a couple of things connected to it.
Yeah, but it holds this. And it's kind of good that it does that because it holds this harness, it holds this valve.
I don't want to see that.
You know?
No.
Should just do like Evo guys and just zip tie everything up.
Yep.
Okay.
I mean, I probably got 150 bolts that have come off of this thing that haven't gone back on. I got bags of them. Good luck trying to figure out which ones they are when we're going to put it back together.
We're gonna have to get some. If you ever want to redo this, put it back to stock, we're gonna have to get some Mitsubishi Whisperer out here.
Yeah, well,
that has everything memorized.
Parts manual.
Yeah.
All about the weight savings.
Thing is, if you just stop eating for a month, you don't have to worry about any of this stuff. You know, just don't eat anything. Just drink water. You'll gain power. You might die. All right, there's that.
Nice.
Okay.
Get rid of that.
Put that with these. Looks like my gold parts. Now we can put this back.
Man, I really dig that. Yeah, that looks real good. You can see my nice shiny, I like my color choices too.
What? The black piping? Yeah. Definitely looks more OE plus and less boy racer.
Yeah. Should have turned that darn coupler down.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna have to see that all the way down there. Certainly a much more direct route.
Yeah. Definitely tidies it up.
That sucker's on. The throttle body. Makes so much more sense once you take it all apart now, how this thing works. And then there's our short route. All right, so we got all the upper done. We're gonna clamp this part down and button that up. Put that back together there. And then once we get to the ACD stuff, so we might leave the bumper off today. But once we get the ACD stuff, the front bumper's ready to go back on. And then what I'll do is probably do some polishing and stuff tomorrow or the next day on this. But all I have to do is polish the hood and the bumper so that way I can finish the polishing job. And then I'll coat it. I'm going to do CSL XO on this XOV5. There's our whole intercooler piping system. The little baby battery. Everything's nice and clean.
You were right. That went right in the path of where that old battery was.
Yep.
And it looks a lot better.
Yeah, but shortest path is a darn straight line instead of that spaghetti system they had.
Yeah.
Came like all the way up over here and then up over stuff. And
Yeah. It had flex to aluminum to flex to aluminum.
yeah. And it was smaller, so this is all one single size too. It's
Yeah.
got to be good.
All we have left is the cone filters going like somewhere in this area.
Well, the mass air, yeah.
Yeah,
so
I know. That's all getting put on here.
Now, we took the mass airflow section off of the factory intake. Where the heck did it go? Oh, it's right here. And you got this piece here, goes in between. There is such a ripe opportunity for like, this is what you need. Here's the kit.
Yeah. If somehow we can convert that into dollars, that'd be great.
Oh, right.
Just a tutorial on this is what steps this is what you need, this is the steps you're going to take, this is the problems you'll run into if you don't do this.
Now, the thing to do
Is
you'd have to like be an Evo, like if you're an Evo guy, you know, if
Yeah.
you had nothing but Evos, and you just sell a freaking package.
yeah. Oh, you're saying about capitalizing on the actual purchasing.
Yeah, it's stuff. I mean, you'd
Yeah.
have to build 4 or 5 of them to figure out what's best, you know.
Yeah.
And so if you had, there's tons of guys that are Evo experts, but like, you gotta simplify this for people. Like if somebody had like a full OG spec Evo kit, like, there's too many options.
Yeah. And not all the stuff plays with each other well.
Right, exactly. Like this is the full fabricated, put together, organized, structured kit. This is what you need.
Well, I guess I got to turn these around.
That's how I was wondering.
Yeah. I didn't even think about that. Well, anyway, let's see how that.
I don't recall seeing a clamp. Oh, there is a clamp.
Yeah, there is. Yeah, that's going to work like that even. Oh, so does this cable reach? It will. Cut a couple of ties. All right, so I screwed up. I got to flip these around. I mean, we can pivot this anyway.
Yeah, I
we
wonder,
can do this way or this way. It adds a little bit. I think it'd want to go close to the battery, if anything.
Yep.
But and the cable fits no problem.
Nice.
So I think we're.
Yeah, that's not too bad.
Yeah, the hood is way higher than that, so we're good.
And if I can take that sticker off there, is that sticker telling me anything important?
That's a Mitsubishi sticker.
Yeah, genuine.
Well, I guess we need to turn this so the logo's correct. Mm-hmm. And it's very important.
Oh, yeah.
People know the STM.
Yeah.
So
logos everywhere. I'm trying to hide as many logos as possible.
Yeah. So I think we'll do is we got to do this and put this hose on here. So we'll just leave this bottom clamp off for now. I'll set it on there, but we won't tighten it until we get this all set up so we can manipulate this back and forth.
Yeah, I would guess that STM probably won't get that flange out. They'll probably get it out tomorrow and we'll probably have it the next day. I paid for overnight shipping. So pull the little nipple off the side there. And now we're going to put the new threaded version on there. That's for blow by. And so then this guy, and then just tap it in with the mallet. I think most of the guys take all that stuff off. Yeah, see what they do. They take all this stuff off the top of the... All this crap comes off. All this junk gets rerouted.
Mm-hmm. Well, if we take this hard line off, we could run a vacuum line straight from here to here. That's true.
Yeah, you take this whole thing, take this thing off too, this whole entire thing, and you just grab the line there, and then that's where you see all the T's that everybody's doing. It's coming from back there.
Yeah, right here. So they get rid of this altogether, because this goes from soft line to hard line to soft line to hard line.
Get rid of all that.
So you take this off here, go soft line all the way to here. So we turn this, we'll turn this actually back that way. So it'll be sitting like this, basically. Something like that.
It looks super clean.
Yeah. Yeah, we're really changing things now. No OE plus now. All right, so that'll be about like that. That line will go boom right to there.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so I can take all that off.
All right, so it's the next day, and this is what I needed. So this was the part that I had ordered, and this is the part that I needed, and then this V-band here. And so we're gonna do that, plus the O-ring is gonna go in here, and then the blow-off valve is ready to go. All right, so I had to order a radiator hose with a bend on it because this is warping here, it's kinking. And that's where I want the intake to sit. So that's gonna look real clean. The recirc line. And now I'm pulling off so we pulled the thing out the back here. And we debated, went back and forth on how the lines route. If you're from Pittsburgh, Mike, you say route.
Route. That's how I would say it.
Route 8. Yeah. So we're going to run a line from here, and that goes back to the intake manifold. This line is going to then run down to the catch can, and then we have a area on the engine block vent with a 6AN size, and then we have the underside of the air intake that'll run to the catch can. Again, the catch can's down there. You can see it right there. So deep down in there, there's that brass PCV valve looking thingy. So we have to get that off. It goes in the intake manifold. Okay, so it's all buttoned up now. I've got the last hose just connected for the catch can. So we've got the battery relocated, which is something we needed to do to get the new intercooler piping in. This hose, Matt actually had to order kind of a bent piece of silicone hose because we tried to use a straight piece and it would kink. So we got this in. This is, I just cut it to fit, cut the ends off to get it to the right length. That's done. So as far as the catch can goes, you can see there's one line here
that comes from the catch can, comes up here. And that 90 that I had on the back of the intake manifold, that's also done. So that 90 is down under here. You can't really see it, but it's back here underneath this fuel rail. That comes around and wraps and ties into here, into the what would be called the back of the valve cover. And then the one that goes to the catch can is this one here. So this bigger one here goes out of the valve cover. This is a fitting I had to press in, and then it comes around and goes down to the catch can. And then the other line here from the catch can comes around and goes kind of underneath the turbo and goes to the engine block and draws, I guess, smoky air out of there too. So anyway, that's done. The blow-off's done. We had a little micking around with this to get this angled the right way. Intake's done, battery locate's done, catch can's done. Oh yeah, I did do that too. I did bleed the ACD with a tool that we bought. I found this online, this Evolution Hydraulics. So this basically clamps onto the battery, and then this box supplies 12 volts to the pump through these larger wires, and then another 12 volts to the solenoid, the ACD solenoid. So what it does, you can turn the pump on, pump runs, and then when you hit the button, ACD on, it actually opens and closes the solenoid and operates that, because I guess air can get trapped in there through this in the solenoid area, and I did get some air out of it. I bled another pint through the system until I got nothing out of it. I kept operating and just trying it out. You can only do it for about 30 seconds at a crack because you don't want to overheat the little motor. So anyway, I did that. I'm going to plug that back in too, and then the bumper back on, and hopefully that takes care of it. So next video, get the JDM rear bumper done. Good job filming, Mike. I'm Mitsubishi Tech, yeah. I'm aspired to be that, you know.
You've just always dreamed.
I've just always dreamed to be a Mitsubishi mechanic.
Yeah.
Now that they only make one car,
Yes.
I think it's the Outlander.
Maybe.
Yeah, I think they only sell one SUV stateside. But now that I'm up to par, I have no cars that can't go work on the dealership, work on the same car every day. Anyway, so this was fun. It's cool. Lots of modifications all at one time. So there are some more left to do. We still have to do a fuel rail. We're going to do an external adjustable fuel pressure regulator for all Matt's big boosts. He's going to need to monitor fuel pressure. Yeah, well, that's kind of why we thought about holding off on the fuel rail. Actually, I was going to do it, but Matt's like, let's wait. So kind of do a certain amount of modifications at one time, drive it, make sure it runs fine, and then we can do a second wave of modifications, because I'm sure there's more things than that'll dream up. Probably bigger turbo, tune, injectors, fuel rail, whatever. Stay tuned for more of that, because I'm sure there will be more.